The extra inning game in Seattle was the last one. Butch Harden's pitch count got high early tonight, but not because he was wild, partly because of Scott Posednik, who led off the ball game, the Major League steals leader with 38 before tonight. He had a 13-pitch at bat before he finally drew ball 4 from Rich, and that eventually led to a 2-run inning, along with a Dan Johnson error pitched in to render the runs unearned, as Posednik stole second base, went to third on a fly ball out, and with the infield in and Aaron Rowan at the plate, Harden got the ground ball he wanted. Harden needs a put-away pitch if he can here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swinging a ground ball to first. Off Dan Johnson, bounces free on the infield. The runner scores from third, and safe at first is Rowan. Posednik was not coming on contact. Had Johnson handled that ball cleanly, the run would not have scored. Instead, it caromed off to the right, not in front of him, and it landed on the infield grass. It's an E3, and the White Sox are up with a run in the first inning. After Caderco was retired, it was the veteran Carl Everett, who's been a dangerous hitter this year in the DH slot. Inside goes the target for Kendall. There goes Rowan. There's the ground ball to first. A diving effort, but it's by Johnson over the bag down the right field line. Swisher gets to it. Here's Rowan being waved home. Here comes the relay throw from Scudero. Slide. Save. 2-0 White Sox. As into second base is Carl Everett with a double. Just inside the bag, over the bag. Johnson with a dive, but couldn't flag it down. Contreras, pitching for the White Sox tonight, was trying to get things straightened out. His last 3 starts, he had lost 2 games, had an ERA of over 8, retired the side in order. It looked like he was in a groove. But then Eric Chavez opened the second inning with a double, and after getting 2 outs, Contreras began to lose the strike zone, as he would the rest of the night. Walked Johnson and Swisher to load the bases, but he got out of it with Scudero tapping to the mound. And the A's had the first of several frustrations tonight when they couldn't get the big hit to really break the game wide open. And in the second inning, that was the end result. Harden then clicked in from that point on. He gave up a single in the third with 1 out and negated that with a double play ball, a 2-out single in the fourth, a single in the 5th inning with 1 out to Uribe. And then after he was forced, Posednik stole second base, and that's as far as he got. And in fact, after the first inning, he's the only man who reached second base for Chicago, and then their final 14 batters were retired in order by Harden, Calero, and Street. So most of the evening was spent with the A's at bat, and Contreras trying to find the strike zone, and the A's trying to take full advantage of it. In the 4th inning, they did, as Hatterberg drew a base on balls, and then Bobby Kelty escalated the rally.
1-0 pitch. Here it is. Swung on, lifted down the left field line, slicing in the corner, fair ball going to the wall. Hatterberg is around second, going to third. They'll hold him there on a slicing double down the left field line by Bobby Kelty. And the A's have second and third and nobody out. And Kelty's become a doubles machine.
And then with the infield back conceding the run in exchange for an out, Dan Johnson got the job done with a ground ball to second base. Coming home was Hatterberg, and over to third was Kelty, and it was a 2-1 ball game. Then Swisher worked the first of 3 walks he would receive tonight, but Scudero couldn't get the run home with his fly ball. It was too shallow to left field. It was up to Kendall now if he could find an open spot, dropping a base hit somewhere to get the A's even in the ball game. But as it turned out, he didn't have to hit to get the game even.
So now second and third. 2 out, 2-1 White Sox spot over the 4th. Jason Kendall's 0 for 2, right-handed hitter. Right field dive, 2 steps toward the line. Center field Rowan, step or 2 toward right center. Left field Posednik about 80 feet off the line. The pitch to Jason Kendall. Here it is. In the dirt, gets away from Przinsky, and the A's have tied it up as Kelty scores from third, and Swisher goes to third, and now it's 2-2. And Contreras finally pays for really an amazingly wild performance so far. Przinsky had no chance. That ball bounced about 3 feet in front of the plate and to the right of the plate.
And he would walk Kendall, but then finally got out and dodged the bullet by getting Kotsay to ground out on the first pitch, but the A's had at least evened the ball game. And once again, the leadoff double was the order of things in the 5th inning. It was Bobby Crosby at the plate. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Swing and a fly ball hit down the left field line shallow. Posednik coming over. Can't get there. It bounces fair. Crosby digging for two. Head first slide. In there. A double for Bobby Crosby. Just a soft fly to shallow left. Just there. And when it hit, it bounced into foul ground. Just enough to make Posednik reach a little farther for it. And in that instant, Crosby hustling all the way, able to get into second with a double, extending his hitting streak to 12 consecutive games. Crosby wound up at third while Chavez was batting as Contreras uncorked his third wild pitch of the ball game. But then Chavez's line drive was hit right into the glove of Konerko at first, and Crosby was still at third base, carrying the possible go-ahead run. Then, again, the strike zone bounced all over the place on Contreras, who walked Hatterberg, who walked Kelty, and with the bases full, who walked to the dugout after Ozzie Guy had lifted him from the ball game, bringing in Kevin Walker, a left-hander just called up yesterday from the minor leagues where his ERA was over 6. But Dan Johnson popped out, and the tie remained in force until Swisher stepped up, and Nick already had walked twice in the evening. Bases loaded, and now the decision, tie game, it's 3-2, and the pitch to Swisher. Ball 4, the A's take the lead. High with the fastball, Swisher gets the easy RBI, 3-2 Athletics. Crosby is in with a run, Hatterberg to third, Kelty to second, Swisher to first. Pierzynski will go to the mound. And Walker is out of the game, and Vizcaino, the right-hander, one-time Athletic hurler, comes in to pitch to Marco Scutaro. And again, the strike zone is a problem for the hurlers of the Sox. Outside target, Vizcaino sets. 3-1 on the way. Way outside, ball 4. Another run is walked in. Scutaro gets the RBI. 4-2 Athletics. And this has turned into a real walkathon.
That's the ninth.
But again, the big bullet was dodged when Kendall hit into a force out to end the inning. But the A's had the lead, as it turned out, for keeps for the rest of the night. And as we mentioned, the White Sox got nothing after a 2-out single by Dye in the 4th inning and a 1-out single by Uribe in the 5th. From that time on, it was zeros as Calero came into the game, worked 2 1/3 innings, faced 7 batters, retired 7, and the A's continue to cling to that 4-2 lead. They did nothing in the 6th and 7th. And in the 8th, at this point in the ball game, it was Takatsu in the contest. And after getting 1 out, Jason Kendall doubled. But I should mention, too, that in the top half of the 8th inning, there was some help from the defense with Calero in there. He'd gotten a nice catch in the 7th on a Pierzynski foul in the left field corner by Kelty. And Posednik trying to bunt his way on. That could create a lot of trouble with the big bats coming up. Was foiled by Chavez.
And the pitch to Posednik. He bunts in the air, foul third base side. Chavez a sliding catch in foul territory. So Posednik popped it up. Chavez a perfect slide on the grass, skidding on the grass in foul territory between home plate and third base. And that is quickly out number 2.
And now the fans were really into it because that made the 6th straight retired by Calero, and they pretty much figured he would get 1 more out, and then it would be Street's turn when the 9th came around. He was facing Iguchi, the second baseman.
2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Outside corner slider, ring him off. A lights-out performance out of the A's bullpen tonight by Kiko Calero. 7 batters faced, 7 retired, 2 by strikeout. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. A's 4, White Sox 2.
And as I was about to set the stage for that, with Shingo Takatsu in the game, having gotten the final out of the 7th, Kendall doubled the left field with 1 out, and Katse struck out. And Crosby drew a base on balls. That was the 10th walk issued to the A's tonight, and that was the exit sign for Takatsu. And the left-hander Neil Kotz came in to pitch to Chavez, got him in a hole 1 and 2, and then let one get away, and it hit him to load the bases. The A's have 1 more chance to really break it open, and it's Hatterberg who gets the shot.
And here's the 1-0 pitch, the delivery. Hatterberg gets it, line drive, base hit, right center field. That'll break it open. Scoring is Kendall. Scoring is Crosby. Going to third is Chavez on a solid shot to right center by Scott Hatterberg. And now it's a 4-run lead. A's Chicago 2. And that was the breakthrough, really, the A's have been waiting all night for. Neil Cott's fastball on the inner half. Hatterberg cleared his hip, sends a rope to right center to drive into.
And this crowd tonight, although it was on the modest side, certainly was not modest in its enthusiasm, as they love to see Houston Street come on. He struck out Rowan looking, got Canerco after a long battle to fly out to left field, and with Everett at the plate having been rung up with strike one, there was the air of anticipation. The last 13 White Sox batters have been retired. Street ready again. Deals it. Straight to knee-high fastball with some sink on it. Everett fidgets around in the batter's box, casting a glance back at the plate umpire Hemmel. Houston ready, deals. He struck him out swinging, and the A's have beaten the White Sox and won their 8th in succession. Houston Street polishes off the White Sox 1-2-3 in the 9th. The last 14 Chicago batters go down as the Athletics on the homestand now are 7-0. They have won 8 straight, 12 of 13, 22 of 30, and the last 9 at home. Final score, the A's 6, Chicago 2. And remarkably, the Athletics are within one game of the 500 mark at 39-40. When we return, Rich Harden will talk about his activities since coming off the DL. He is 3-0 with an ERA of 0.59.